Morning to all. Good morning, Jasvina. I'm audible. Veena, Meghna Jakati. I'm audible. Jasvina, I'm audible. Jasvina.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah, I'll start that second and remaining points. I'll started why I mentioned to the class why I took this slide. Okay. Depend on these three pillars only that internal alignment is dependent. So next is the meaning of that internal alignment is what exactly. Okay, then what is the pay structure? Okay, I'll discuss. Then today I want to discuss about the uh, compensation strategy. Should see, you need to implement good strategies for your employees while you're going to pay or compensate them anything. So, what are the strategies you need to follow? What is exactly the strategy should? First, it support organization strategy. Second, it support workflow, support fairness, and that should motivate behavior of the employees. See, compensation strategy should support organization strategy. Very important. Means when as an HR manager, if you are going to think about the what kind of compensation strategy you are implementing to your organization, meanwhile that should support the organization strategy also. Means for the purpose of enhancement of the brand name, for the purpose to enhancement of the and this one employees loyalty. Okay, for the purpose to keep employee happiness, for the purpose to maintain that satisfactory level of the employee. Okay, compensation strategy should support to the organization strategy. Organization strategy here it is top level authorities strategies, means how they are implementing their particular ideas in the organization. So as an HR manager, here both the ideas should map as a compensation strategy. Okay, what they are going to implementing, they have to intimate same thing to the higher authority. They have to take permission from the higher authority before going to give any compensation to the uh, employees. So if there is a both strategies are same, means as an HR strategy that should map to organization strategy, then only there should be proper implementation of the work. Means without any disputes. Okay, without any again disputes in the organization, you can maintain such a kind of strategy to the HR as well as by the higher authority. Then second one, that is it supports the workflow. See, I already mentioned to the class that is compensation strategies are differ from uh, hierarchy wise. Okay, so depend on one who are sitting on the top, for them there is a more compensation than one who are middle. Instead of above, they will get something low, and to the low level authority they will get few particular benefits related to the compensation, like that. Okay, depend on the what kind of workflow is there, what kind of hierarchies are there, what kind of authorities are there, depend on that. Okay, it will support to the all the authorities. Means compensation is compulsory nowadays. So if when there is a compensation strategies are there, as an HR manager, if you are going to implement in a proper manner, okay, to all the workers, to all the authorities, okay, no doubt it is really uh, align all the works Means distribution of work in the particular system means it is equal. There is no any problem, there is no any dispute, there is no any conflicts, there is no any quarreling. So you can maintain very easily your organization if there is a proper compensation strategy if you are going to implement. Then third one, support fairness. Compensation means there should be transparent. As an HR manager and top authority, you need to concentrate on what kind of particular compensation you are giving, and you should support the fairness. You should support all the employees without discriminating. Like only was few people they have to take that compensation, and the rest of all they don't have such a kind of right to take. No, not like that. The thing is, as an HR manager, they need to think about each and every individuals, what is their task, and what kind of particular compensation strategy you are implementing to your all the workers without any discrimination. And no doubt at the end that will motivate all the behaviors. If there is a proper compensation given by the all the workers, okay, if there is any compensation given by the all the workers by the higher authority or by HR manager, no doubt that will motivate a good behavior to the employees, okay, without any rational decision or without any disputes among the employee and employer. No doubt that will motivate the to maintain good behavior to the all the employees. So these are the major compensation strategy. Those are coming into the internal alignment. No doubt, by giving a good or by implementing a good compensation strategy, it will helpful to all the organizations to maintain that internal alignment within the organization. Means by implementing these four, like support, it should support the organization strategy. Okay, then again support workflow and support fairness and motivate behavior of the employees by uh, you know, analyzing and giving and implementing compensation strategy to the organization. Then what is that fairness issues are there in the internal alignment? Fairness means that should be equal to all. If there is any compensation facilities are given by the HR managers, those should be equal to all without discriminating any person. Okay, that should be very transparent. If there is no any such a kind of fairness, take an example, if there is no any such a kind of fairness, so what kind of particular issues are there? One is procedural justice. There is no any such a kind of justice. There is only such a kind of any rules and regulations followed by the any that organization. So uh, in the same time, okay, maybe some problems they are going to arise in the organization. Maybe internally you are not going to align such a kind of work to all employees equally. So this is one of the major particular problem, and it is one of the major process by which a decision is reached. The thing is, sometimes as an chairman, you are not going to take any such a kind of decisions on the time, and maybe if you are not going to follow any procedural justice in the time, so it will lead to again conflicts between you and your existing employees. So these are the major fairness issues. Again, distributive justice. Once if you are going to following in rules and regulations by the government, take an example, okay, those particular rules and regulations to distributive means that those should be equal to all. Okay, suppose take an example, if you are increasing DA percentage means uh, in your organization or in your society, take an example, if you are giving 50% DA, if you are increasing means that should be equally distributed to all by following the all the rules and the regulations of that particular society. Okay, that's depend on again what kind of company you have, what kind of organization you have. So you have to distribute equally, means to all employees that should be 50% only, or 60%, 70%, like this. So if there is again, if there is any changes between one employees to another employee, okay, there is any such a kind of particular justice as an HR manager, maybe the results or any outcomes of the process is somewhat low. Again, you will you have to think on the employees, why employees are not happy, and why employees are not working properly. Means if there is any proper distributions are there, okay, any distributive justice is there, that should be equal to all. Without any proper distributive of that justice, that leads to the fairness issues. So third one, pay procedures more likely to be viewed as fair if they are consistently applied to all the employees. Any fair policies if you are implementing, like equal distribution of the compensation, equal work and equal pay, like that. So if there is any such kind of particular facilities are given by the higher authority or HR manager to all their worker, take an example, no problem. So if there is a any discrimination is going to happen, means again that leads to uh, there is no any output. Employee participation and representation is allowed. Okay, one who are actively participating in the each and every task, and what is the representation. Okay, there there should be plenty of problems are there. Okay, but one who are allowing or who are not allowing, one who are following rules and regulations, one who are not following. Okay, so depend on again that HR policies. But as an HR manager, your duty is to you have to give and distribute fairness to all the workers. Again, I am telling you, if you are not going to follow any rules and regulations in a proper manner, that will lead to some issues in the organization. And appeals procedure is available as an employee of the organization. If you are not going to distribute any fairness in your organization, they have right to appeal to go for that any courts or maybe any other this one, or they can join that any unions also. So depend on that, that will raise some difficulties in the organization. So data you should use properly. Okay, data used are accurate. By collecting such a kind of sample or any survey, you have to analyze that whether they are happy or no. So these are by analyzing these all points. Okay, if there is any discriminations are there, that will lead to the some issues in the organization. As an HR manager, you need to concentrate on this particular internal alignment, how you should internally align work, how you are going to internally align such a kind of compensation to all workers, what are the objectives you are framing, what kind of target you are giving, what are the policies you are framed, everything you need to map and you need to intimate to your workers. Then only it is fairness. So if you are not going to follow those all, then again this creates fairness issues in the organization. That's what HR manager is very important as compared to again a higher authority like CEO and MD or secretary or owner of the company, because HR is the next person to take any decision related to the organization, and HR person is only one person to think about all the employees, including top authority also. So depend on that, he is the only one to allow some work and to analyze the performance or any problems of the organization. Here I mentioned some engineering structure at the Lockheed company. So in the time of entry level and recognized authority, what kind of particular engineers are there? What kind of particular structure is there? So depend on that, what kind of particular authorities they mentioned. Here is an one engineer, limited use of basic principles. Some particular engineers they are not going to follow any such a kind of basic principles, and there is no any more, there is more close supervision is there to all their employee. And senior engineer is like full use of standard principles and concepts under general supervision also, as compared to simple engineer. Senior engineer, no doubt they have their own standards, and they're going to follow their principles in day by day, and they should know that already the what are the concepts of related work. Okay, so depend on that. Okay, under general supervision only, they are going to check that general, and generally they'll supervise everything. So on the basis of that, they'll take the work from the other employee. Then, as compared to senior engineer, what I mentioned, systems engineer. It is system means what kind of system is there in the organization. So depend on that, depend on the applications, depend on the principles. Okay, workload, knowledge related disciplines, everything as an engineer they should work on that. So under very general directions only. Then lead engineer is applies extensive knowledge as a generalist or specialist, exercise wide latitude. Here, lead engineer is the one who are going to take as a leadership of that particular organization. He is a very general or very specialist in all the tasks. So on the basis of that person only, that particular lead engineer only, the whole of that organization is dependent. Then advisor engineer is different. That is applies advanced principles. One who are having core knowledges in the theories or any concepts or any assignments or self initiation. So depend on that. Okay, core advisor engineers, that advice is very important to all the other engineers. So consultant engineer is different, like one who exhibits an exceptional degree of ingenuity, creativity, and resource fullness, acts of independability and operational any problems are there, how they are going to operate that. So depend on these all points. Okay, these engineers are going to take care and about the each and every task of the organization. So this is one example of by Lockheed. Then structures vary. See, in each and every organization, okay, structures is not similar. Structure is not going to be same maybe in long time also. Depend on the problems, depend on the need. They can give such a kind of any authority of work to other person also. That's why this is also one of the major internal alignment that's coming under the compensation subject. So a internal pay structure is defined by uh, before going to pay any particular payment or any salary or anything to your worker. Take an example, what kind of structure is there in within the organization, you need to think on that. If there is again a vary in the structure, means you need to work on that. Again you need to fix a such a kind of pay structure to the worker. That's what you need to before going to start that. As an HR manager, you need to identify that number of levels of work, total how many levels of work is there. Take an example, maybe by higher authority to middle to low directly, or within in middle, again in horizontal there are any some assistant managers are there, or any job related managers are there, supervisors are there. You need to think on what are the total numbers of levels of work, workload are there, total how many employees are working under that particular. Okay, you need to think on that. So by analyzing that number once, okay, then you can give that a better particular advantage of that to the workers. Pay differentials between levels, that is also there before going to set any differentials. Okay, you need to identify their qualifications, identify their experience, knowledge. Okay, then who is doing such a kind of particular quality work. So depend on that, you need to differentiate between the pay levels. So depend on that. Okay, you have to give them fix exactly what kind of uh, particular salary you are fixing that. There are again some criteria you can fix up that. Okay, depend on those criterias, you have to take work from them and you have to give them back to the in the form of compensation and salary, everything. So depend on what kind of criteria you are implementing to your organization. Okay, then what kind of particular work is there, depend on all these points. Okay, you need to first identify the number of levels, what are the differentials are there between the each and every level, what are the criterias are there. So depend on these all points internally, you need to align with all the employees. Okay, then what is the content of work, what is the value, and what kind of job is there, depend on these 3 points also. Okay, okay, you need to internally align such a kind of pay structure, and you need to give them better compensation to your worker. Content means work performed in a job and how it gets done, what kind of particular work is there as an worker. Okay, how they are performing in a job and how they are completing that given task in the time. You need to analyze first. As an HR manager, you need to think on what is the content of that particular job. So depend on the content of the job and the qualification and experience of the job and the quality of particular work of the employee, you need to give that particular task to your employee and take such a kind of work, and by analyzing that all, you need to pay to your employee. That is coming under the content. Then uh, before going to give such a kind of any particular any enhancement in the salary, or maybe any benefits or rewards or any compensation if you are giving them, you need to identify what is the value of that particular job, what is the worth of that work, it's related to contribution to the objectives or no. Okay. Yeah, by analyzing their work, okay, and particularly your objectives, your both employees and your organization need is running in a similar path or no. You need to analyze that worth of the job of the each employee. So then only you can internally align them again, any compensation and salary, and you can take that work from the employees. Then what kind of job is there, and uh, what kind of particular structure you are implementing. Okay. So depend on these all points again. Okay. On the basis of the need, there is a changes in the again structure. So this is totally job is person based structure. What is the person's qualification, experience, knowledge. Okay. So depend on that. Okay, person's based structure only, the jobs you need to give that to the your employee. So these are the major structures. Those are very as per according to each one organization to another organization. So as per the need, you need to internally align such a kind of work to your employees. Here it's very important. What shapes internal structures? There are majorly what I mentioned. Majorly 3 points are there. One is external factors, then second one is organization factors, and third one is that is internal structure. So as an HR manager, you need to follow the each and every person's that how those factors are going to lead to internally align, and how those are implementing to your organization, how those are impact on the organization. You need to follow each and every all these three factors. So depend on these 3 points only, you need to give on better particular shape to your organization by giving all this internal alignment. One is that is external factor. In external factor, first one is economic pressure of the government policies. Okay. As per the maybe in deflation, or take an example, what kind of economical conditions are there today. Okay. As per the need of that, okay, what are the rules and regulations you are following. Okay. And then what are the laws you are implementing your organization. Okay. Who is your stakeholder, who is your stockholders. Okay, everything you need to analyze that. And what kind of cultures you are implemented, what are the customs you are implemented for your organizations. By analyzing external factors, okay, you need to follow that, and internally you need to align such a kind of particular work to your uh, organization itself. So this is one of the major. Then organization factors are what are the strategies you are implementing for internally aligning such a kind of work. What are the HR policies you are implementing, maybe for the purpose to enhance any salary, or for the purpose to promote our demotion of your employee. Okay, what are the HR policies you are implementing, what are the technology you are implementing for the purpose to give better services to the end users, right? Whether your all employees are competent for present technology or no. Okay. So employee acceptance, whatever you are giving that particular work to the employee, whether they are accepting or no, as per the need, as per the knowledge or experience of the employee, you need to give them their competent work to your employee. Then you need to look out at that total human capital in the number. So depend on that, what kind of particular organization you have. So depend on analyze that, and what are the cost implications to maintain each and every human capital in the organization. How you are going to maintain that? What are the particular facilities you are giving them? Okay, what are the extra welfare facilities you need to give them as per the law with respect to law? Okay, so depend on these all points, you can maintain that shape of your internal structure. Then internal structure is again totally depend on the these two factors, that is external factor and organization factors. Then what are the internal major points that we need to learn here? Levels, differentials, and what are the criterias are there in the internal structure? What are the levels are there? Maybe you are coming in the top level, middle level, or low level. So depend on those all points. Okay, you need to think on external factors and organization factors also. Okay, so on the basis of that, as an HR manager, okay, what are the differentials and what are the criteria you are implementing for the betterment of the employees? You need to analyze those, and you need to give better particular services to your employees. So without discriminating, again here I am highlighting that without discriminating your employees, okay, by following, okay, organization factors and external factors, you need to give better chance to your workers by analyzing their performance or quality standards of your employees. So depend on their experience, you need to analyze that quality standards and the performance. Then you have to give better particular advantage to your employees to work in your organization. And I already mentioned some illustration of an internal labor market. As an one example, that is consultant engineers are there, advisor engineers are there, lead engineers are there, system engineers are there. Okay, senior engineers are there, any engineers are there. Take an example. Before going to hire that, you need to analyze their working condition. You need to analyze their behavior. You need to analyze their experience. What are their total expectations are there? Then only you can promote them. Like engineer to senior engineer, engineer to system engineer, system engineer to lead engineer to again advisor engineer, then advisor engineer to consultant engineer. Promote or you can hire as per the need of your organization. So, my dear students, okay, for the purpose to maintain that internal alignment with respect to labor market, okay, you need to give them promotions, you need to enhance the salary, you need to maintain such a kind of satisfactory level to your organization. Like this is what I given one example. So not only the engineer, take an example, what kind of particular business you have. So depend on that, you have to again promote on the basis of that their knowledge, their experience, their performance, their competencies. Need to promote every year, maybe every 3 year, maybe every 6 month. Okay, depend on by analyzing the quality of standards, performance of the employee, skills of the employee, output in the form of quality of your product, right? What kind of particular behavior is there? How they are going to interact? How they are maintaining such a kind of interrelationship with between you and your higher authority? Everything by analyzing or by maintaining that whole data, need to analyze that labor market first and maintain that particular promotion strategies to your employees. So like this you need to internally align such a kind of work and identify such a kind of work by you people. Next point is, I already mentioned, these are the major two kinds of strategic choices in designing internal structures. One is tailored versus loosely coupled, and egalitarian versus hierarchical. So these are the major two methods. Okay, so on the basis of that, okay, how you are going to implement your organization for the purpose to maintain that internal structure of your organization. See, I already mentioned that very very important, this is for your final exam. They can ask totally uh, 10 mark question. Briefly explain tailored versus loosely coupled method of strategic choices in designing internal structure. They will ask as this is an 10 mark. Explain egalitarian versus hierarchical system of strategic choices in designing internal structures. If the questions are like this, okay, they will ask, this is total 10 mark question. So, what is it exactly tailored versus loosely coupled? Tailored versus loosely coupled here. Tailored is also depend on the hierarchy. What I mentioned, if we're going to maintain that, designing internal structures. Designing internal structures means, as an HR manager, how you are going to design your particular internal structure to your organization, what kind of your organization is. So depend on that. As an HR manager, you need to implement some strategical choices in designing your internal structures. Okay, so then what is that exactly tailored versus loosely coupled? Tailored means adopted by an organization with low cost, that is customer focused business strategy. Very, very important. Here, tailored means that is adopted by an organizations. In generally, each and every organizations they are implementing such a kind of this tailored technique, that should be in low cost, and whatever you are going to focus, that is totally core on customer focused business strategy you are going to implement to your organization. That's coming under the tailored, and has well designed jobs with detailed steps or task. In this particular authority, okay, they clearly mention what kind of job is that, and they clearly mention what kind of particular steps are there in that particular job, and what kind of workload is there, what kind of work is there. Okay, they clearly mention in that. So it becomes very easy for each and every workers to analyze that work and take that as an challenge and to finish and that particular task within the time. It's very small pay differentials among the jobs. If there is any hierarchy is there, take an example, there is no any such kind of any differentials in the pay level. There is there might be very small differentials among the jobs. So this is what the tailored, especially this is there in tailored is there in small business sectors. So depend on that. Okay, there those all business sectors those are going to implement a tailored technique to their organization. Then in loosely coupled means what, they are very highly competent, they are looking such a kind of competent employees, then maybe as compared to tailored one. Okay, loosely coupled means especially to the large companies, they are going to implement such a kind of loosely coupled strategy, and they are going to design such a kind of particular choices to their organization, and it requires constant innovation. Means innovation means research work. When there is a research minded employees are there, no doubt they are going to invent something, they are going to innovative, and they are going to implement such a kind of innovations to their organization. So this is one of the major one in loosely coupled. Here they are going to look constant innovation to their organization. 1 minute. Okay, in this loosely coupled, okay, pay structures are most loosely linked to the organization to provide flexibility. For the purpose to provide such a kind of flexibility, pay structures are more loosely linked. There's no any constant, depend on what kind of their workload, what kind of particular they are working, what kind of their experience, Depend on that, they will give such a kind of facility to their particular worker. So these are the major two. Okay, especially this tailored is adopted by in organizations with low cost. So one who are implementing for their organization, they believed in low cost and customer focused business strategy, as well designed jobs with detailed steps or tasks already mentioned clearly. What are the detailed steps are there, what kind of particular tasks are there, they will mention, and very small pay differentials among the in jobs. But in loosely coupled, that is very flexible and it require constant innovations by the workers. So this is very very important for our exam point of view. Please be aware about what is that tailored versus loosely coupled. Okay. Then egalitarian versus hierarchical. Next method is that is egalitarian structures are all employees are valued equally. There is no any discrimination. In egalitarian structures, means you belongs to middle level, you are belongs to high level, you are belongs to low level. No, there is no any discrimination again. Okay, all employees are valued equally. Advantages are fewer levels and smaller differentials are there. Okay, maybe in such a kind of particular companies, maybe there's no any more levels and there's no any more differentials also. Maybe smaller differentials and fewer levels are there in that particular organization. Means they're not going to discriminate to any employees. Means these are egalitarian. It is implemented in very small businesses. And what are the disadvantages are equal treatment can mean more knowledgeable employees feel underpaid and under valued. By this, okay, you need to implement that equal treatment to your workers, and by this, as a knowledgeable employees, they can feel that in this particular company, their payment is less, and they are not going to analyze that they are valued or no. Means they are going to think on that those people are not recognized exact workload and the quality of work. Okay, so they are going to start to think on in this level. Then hierarchical structures means value the differences in work content. Okay, then they are going to expect good skills by the competent employees, and there should be more contributions towards the organization as compared to this one, egalitarian. Maybe this is large companies they are going to implement and include detailed descriptions of work done at the each level, in each level of particular work. Okay, it is very in depth, and they are going to explain detailed descriptions of work, what kind of work is there, depend on their qualifications of the employees, depend on the knowledge, depend on the experience, depend on what kind of competent knowledge they have. Okay, depend on that they will give such a kind of work to their particular workers. Okay, but here what I mentioned, value the differences in work content. Okay, what is the exact work content is there. Okay, what is the value to you, they are going to identify that. They are going to identify the each and every employee skills, and they will give such a kind of particular workload to the qualified employees only. So these are the major differences between the egalitarian structures and hierarchical structures. Okay, up to here I completed these four particular methods. One is tailored versus loosely coupled, and the second one is egalitarian versus hierarchical. Up to here I completed, and the remaining points I'll take in next class. Maybe next class I want to finish that second unit. Okay, then I'll take your third unit, no doubt. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Remaining time is only 30 seconds. You can ask me any questions.
So,
Yes, who is this? Rohin?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you told first unit you will send the notes, sir, so that we can refer for the internal, sir.
I already sent in WhatsApp. Check in WhatsApp group.
Compensation and reward, no, sir. Recruitment and selection.